On my birthday, Ethan finally agreed to travel abroad with me. Ethan knew my English wasn't good. When he left me alone at the airport, I wasn't really angry because he said his mother was sick. I even wanted to ask if he needed my help, but he didn't reply. Until I saw Chloe's social media post from abroad, showing Ethan asleep on her bed, fully dressed, along with the caption, "True love means you'll rush to me from the airport with just one call." I finally couldn't take it anymore and had a huge fight with him. He was still the same as always, throwing a line at me, "She and I are just friends. Why do you always think everyone's having an affair?" Then he blocked me. Alone, speaking broken English and enduring many disdainful glances, I stumbled through a 15-day trip. But the day before I returned home, Ethan unblocked me. He sent me a message, "I'll pick you up tomorrow." I knew he wanted to reconcile. In our relationship, he always held the dominant position. During arguments, he could freely block me, only unblocking me when he felt ready to forgive. And I would never block him, no matter what. For years, he had done whatever he pleased, acting without consequence. But he didn't know that these 15 days of self-reliance in a foreign country had made me rethink our relationship. In the past, I would have been overjoyed at the thawing of our relationship. But this time I wasn't so thrilled. I simply replied, "Thanks." Then I tossed my phone aside and started packing, knowing he wouldn't reply. But before bed, I found another message on my phone, "See you tomorrow." I turned off my phone and slept soundly until morning. At 7 p.m., I got off the plane. I looked around the airport but didn't see Ethan. I walked out, pulling 2 large suitcases. The taxi driver cheerfully greeted me, "Where to, miss?" I smiled, waiting for a pickup. I had sent Ethan my flight information, he should have known to pick me up at this time. But I waited at the entrance until dark, as taxis came and went, and Ethan still didn't show up. No messages on my phone either. "Miss, I've already done 3 trips, if you don't go now, there won't be any cars left." The driver rolled down his window. I walked up, dragging my 2 suitcases, "Let's go." It was already midnight when I got home. The driver, worried about me going home alone, dropped me off at the apartment complex entrance and kept his headlights on to light my way until I entered the building door before turning around and leaving. By then, Ethan still hadn't sent me a single message. I didn't question him. I went inside, washed up, and tiredly lay on the sofa, opening the message Ms. Davies had sent me. "Are you really not going to reconsider the overseas assignment? It's just 2 years, and you can still come back home to see your boyfriend during your holidays." Ms. Davies was my direct supervisor, and there was a project in Yemen that needed someone. She had strongly recommended me. I had made excuses, saying my English wasn't good, but she could see through it. I just couldn't let go of Ethan. Ms. Davies sent another message, "When you return, your salary can go up to a 6-figure salary, and I'll be going with you, so don't worry." Ethan and I were college alumni. We started dating in our junior year, and it had been 3 years since graduation. For 5 years, my life revolved around him. When we graduated, the school asked us to write our aspirations for the future on sticky notes. Amidst aspirations like a 6-figure salary, becoming a distinguished scholar, and becoming a successful entrepreneur, I solemnly wrote, "To have a home with Ethan." I revolved around him for 5 years. Yet, I couldn't even get him to pick me up late at night. How ridiculous. I replied, "I'll go." Ms. Davies immediately sent me an excited voice message, "That's more like it, Grace. If you don't take this project, there's no one else. Hurry. Sign up for the language proficiency exam now and try to pass it next month. A 6.5 is enough." English always gave me a headache. By frantically practicing, my scores were acceptable, but I just couldn't speak well. Luckily, Ethan had always been there to shield me. He hadn't come on the trip, and my broken English had certainly earned me a lot of side-eye. I opened my computer, registered for next month's exam, and started looking through past papers. Soon enough, I became drowsy and dozed off at my computer desk. Half asleep, I heard the sound of a key in the lock at the door, followed by a few footsteps. "Grace?" He called my name a few times. When he reached the study door and saw me slumped over the desk, his voice seemed displeased. "Grace." I rubbed my eyes and sat up. "You're back?" He paused, his brows furrowing even deeper. I didn't know what he was angry about. Was he mad that I hadn't waited for him as I used to, hadn't questioned why he didn't pick me up, hadn't started doubting his relationship with Chloe, and hadn't made a scene? "I just finished up, I sent you messages and you didn't reply," he said. I opened my phone, and sure enough, there were several missed calls and messages from him, asking where I was. It was almost 1 a.m. by then. Chloe's claustrophobia acted up, and she started hurting herself. I couldn't get away, so Oh. I didn't even wait for him to finish. He paused, then sighed, I know you're upset, but she and I. Upset about what? I smiled, stretched, and walked towards the bedroom. It's too late, and I'm too tired. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Grace? His tone was a bit displeased. Can't you just say what's on your mind directly? Don't play these games with me. I looked confused. What do I have to say? You. He was uncharacteristically speechless in front of me. He was always the one who chose not to speak, never the one who couldn't. I pulled back the covers and got into bed. Let's sleep, don't overwork yourself. I closed my eyes, and my breathing quickly steadied. Half asleep, I seemed to hear him slam the door as he left. I knew what he was angry about. He had rarely extended an olive branch, and I hadn't taken it. But it didn't concern me anymore. I slept very well that night. The next morning, when I opened my bedroom door, there was a small cake on the dining table. Ethan sat on a chair and said, Grace, happy belated 25th birthday. I blinked. So he still remembered that I went abroad for my birthday. Actually, I didn't go with you because Chloe's claustrophobia treatment failed, and the doctor said she might harm herself if I wasn't there. That night, I just collapsed on her bed from exhaustion. It wasn't what you're thinking. And last night, I stepped forward, bending to look at the delicate cake. Did you prepare this for me? Thank you. He paused. Grace. The candles were already lit. I clasped my hands together, wished for a 6.5 on my language proficiency exam on my first try, then blew out the candles in one breath, giving him a wide smile. Thank you for arranging this for me on my first day back home. Ethan frowned. Grace, can you just listen to my explanation? I smiled. You mean about you and Chloe? No need, I stopped being jealous a long time ago. He looked at me with a peculiar expression. I took the knife, cut the cake, placed a slice in front of him, and then took a bite of my own slice. It tastes good. You're not angry? I blinked. No, why would I be? You two are childhood sweethearts. It's natural for you to look after each other, isn't it? He was silent for a moment. When he looked at me again, his eyes held a hint of guilt. Grace, there's a company party tonight, and we can bring guests. I was eating cake and looked up at his words. Huh? In the past, I would have been ecstatic, throwing my arms around his neck and kissing him passionately. But now, I just put down my cake. Probably not. I have something to do tonight. Working late? I was thinking about studying for the language proficiency exam, but if I told him, he'd definitely ask more questions, so I just nodded vaguely. Then I'll wait for you to get off work and we can go together. No, really, I don't want to go. Ethan was stunned. I would never miss an opportunity to attend an event with him. I so relished being his girlfriend, wanting the whole world to know we were a couple. Ethan's brows furrowed tightly. But I need to bring a guest. I started changing clothes, planning to go out. I've been busy lately, I really can't make time. I had my back to him, focused on what I was doing. A moment later, I heard the sound of a chair being quickly pulled back. He picked up his jacket and walked out. Suit yourself, I'll take Chloe. With that, he slammed the door as he left. I glanced at the door, then continued tidying up. The overseas assignment was confirmed. My best friend Megan flew over overnight to have a farewell dinner with me. My phone chimed with a special notification from a social media post. It was from Chloe. In the past, I always scrutinized every trace between Ethan and Chloe. Even though it deeply pained me every time, I didn't want to miss any details of their interactions. That's why, awkwardly, I had set Chloe to receive special notifications. It was at a party where she posted an elegant selfie, arm in arm with someone. Although the man in the suit next to her didn't show his face, I recognized him as Ethan. The caption read, "Childhood sweethearts, aren't they just like family?" Ethan liked it. He never posted updates, nor did he even like or comment on posts. Only when Chloe caused an argument between us would he act out. In the past, I would have called immediately, or even taken a taxi there to claim my place as his family. But now, I just liked the post and then unfollowed both of them. What are you spacing out for? Don't tell me you're going home to take care of that jerk again? I laughed out loud, and turned off my phone. Of course not. Tony. GHT, I'm staying out with you. The next morning, I uncharacteristically found missed calls from Ethan on my phone. And unread messages from him. It's so late, why aren't you home? A little later, he added another. I didn't stay long at the party. In the past, if he went to any social event, I would have rushed home early to prepare hangover soup. Then, when he came home drunk, I'd take off his shoes, change his clothes, feed him the soup, and clean up his vomit. There was no way he would come home to an empty house. I replied, out with Meg, what's up? Much later, he finally replied, nothing. I enrolled in an intensive language proficiency exam prep course and hadn't been home for several days. Unusually, Ethan proactively sent me a message, let's have dinner tonight. There were indeed things Ethan and I needed to clarify. This dinner was a good opportunity. I replied, okay, I'll head home after work. He immediately replied, I'll pick you up. I didn't reply, as Ms. Davies called me in to discuss the details of the overseas assignment. At 5:30 p.m., he sent me a message, I'm waiting for you downstairs at your office. I packed up and went downstairs, but his car wasn't at the entrance. After checking my phone several times, he finally drove his car over from across the street. Did you change your office location? He asked. Yes, I did. Actually, my office location had changed a long time ago. But he hadn't picked me up in so long that he simply didn't know. I had originally wanted to tell him, but after begging him to pick me up a few times, he'd always become impatient. You're an adult, can't you find your way home? I pick up Chloe because she's sick. Why are you, a healthy person, comparing yourself to a sick person? So I never told him, afraid he'd think I wanted him to pick me up again. Pretending not to see his hand reaching to carry my bag, I deliberately walked towards the back seat. His hand, resting on the passenger side door, froze. GRA. CE, he called me. I had already opened the back door, and looked up at his voice, what's wrong? His expression was somewhat displeased, why? Why are you sitting there? Only then did I pause. He had always reserved the front passenger seat for Chloe. She said she had claustrophobia and only felt better sitting where the view was open. I had once argued with Ethan about this, but he had slammed a cup down, looking at me with an incredulous gaze. Why do you insist on competing with a sick person? Do you really want me to admit that she and I are having an affair? That time, we gave each other the silent treatment for a whole month. From then on, I stopped arguing with him about the front passenger seat. Oh, I'm used to it. I'll just sit here. No. He seemed a bit anxious, my hand paused. You. Still sit here. I just paused, oh, okay. My tone was flat, as if we were colleagues, with no need to argue over such a small matter. As I got into the passenger seat, his gaze followed me the entire time. Inside the car, it was silent. He would occasionally glance at me. Usually, I would initiate conversation, but it would always end with him saying, don't distract me from driving. Now, I was in no mood to talk anyway, so I leaned back, closed my eyes, and incidentally blocked out his gaze. Ding ding, my phone rang. I opened my eyes, it was Ethan's phone. His phone wallpaper was a photo of him and me, and the caller ID showed XINXIN. He immediately hung up. Soon, the jarring ding-ding rang out again. He tried to hang up again, but hesitated with his finger hovering over the reject button. I picked up the phone, tapped answer, and handed it to him. He hesitated for a moment before taking the call. Chloe sobbed, Ethan. My claustrophobia seems to be acting up again. I don't know where I put my house keys, I can't get out. I'm so scared. Can you please come save me? Ethan looked at me, gripping his phone, I'll call someone else for you. From the other end, her desperate voice cried out, no. Ethan. I only want you to come. Only you can save me. Ethan frowned, looking at me, about to speak but stopping himself. I knew what he was thinking. In the past, on the rare occasions he picked me up, he would drop me off because of a single phone call from Chloe, and drive in the opposite direction to pick her up. If I made a fuss, he would get impatient. It's just a few blocks home, can't you walk back yourself? Chloe is sick. She might not even find her own front door. We grew up together, what's wrong with helping each other out? Why are you, a healthy person, always getting angry at her? Do you really want me to admit there's something going on between us? You're being unreasonable. Get out and cool down. The latest it happened was 1 a.m., after an argument with me, he turned around and drove to help Chloe. I walked along the unlit path, on a video call with Megan, until I finally got home. It's fine, just drop me off at the next intersection. I pointed ahead. Never mind, it's not safe for a girl alone. I'll take you home first, then go. I smiled, it's just a few blocks, can't I walk back myself? Besides, it's not on your way, don't bother. I'll just pick up some groceries at the supermarket up ahead. He paused, seeming to find my words familiar. He drove me to the supermarket entrance. As I was getting out, he suddenly grabbed my hand. I'll be home for dinner tonight. I paused, oh, okay. I'll make your portion too. With that, I pulled my hand away. His hand hovered in the air as I closed the car door. Grace. He called out to me through the lowered car window, looking somewhat anxious. I'm sorry. I smiled. It's fine. She's sick, you should go quickly. With that, I turned and walked into the supermarket. I returned home and cooked enough for two. At 7:30 p.m., Ethan still hadn't arrived. I looked at the empty chair across the table and the prepared food. Instead of waiting as I used to, I picked up my chopsticks and started eating my own meal. When I finished eating, he still hadn't returned. There were no messages on my phone, and his social media feed was empty. Normally, Chloe would post on social media every time she called someone over, but for some reason, she had changed her ways today. I cleared my own plate, washed and put it away, then wrapped his portion of the food in plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator. Then I went into the study, worked through 2 sets of language proficiency exam practice questions, and when I looked up again, it was already past midnight. Immersed in my own tasks, time always flew by so quickly. Several hours passed without me realizing it. In those few hours, I hadn't even thought about Ethan. This felt truly good. Focusing wholeheartedly on my own things always left me feeling incredibly fulfilled. It turned out that happiness really didn't have to depend on someone else. I didn't ask him when he would be back. After leaving a sticky note on the table that read food in the fridge, I washed up and went to bed. Ethan still hadn't come home when I woke up the next day. The sticky note was still in its place. I didn't bother with it, got ready, and left. I was busy coordinating with colleagues in Yemen all morning and didn't think about Ethan once. At lunchtime, I noticed he had called me several times. Just then, his call came in again. I answered, and his voice was a bit anxious. Why aren't you answering your phone? I suddenly felt a sense of familiarity. This anxious, worried role usually belonged to me. But now, I felt nothing. I was a bit busy this morning. What's up? My tone was still the same as when talking to colleagues. He paused before speaking. Nothing. It's just that last night, Chloe's condition was quite serious, and I didn't get a chance to tell you. Oh, I thought it was something important. I smiled. I know, you don't need to explain, and I'm not blaming you. Really? I don't know if it was my imagination, but after I stopped being angry, he seemed awkwardly eager to get an emotional response from me. But I felt I had been clear enough. Yes, I don't blame you. I understand completely. A colleague called me to lunch, and I replied, I'm going to eat now. Do you need anything else? His voice seemed a bit hoarse as he spoke. Yesterday was my fault. How about I cook dinner tonight and pick you up after work? I thought I had misheard him. Not only did he barely come home for dinner a few days a month, but he had never cooked for me. Only after Chloe was startled would he personally cook her porridge to soothe her. If I made a fuss, he would frown. Your cooking is so good, can't you even make yourself some porridge? I had told him through tears then, the point isn't a bowl of porridge, it's that you can cook for others, but you've never cooked for me. He pinched the bridge of his nose. Does it matter who cooks it? Don't you drink it all the same? Yes, it matters a lot. In the past, if he offered to cook for me and pick me up from work, I would have been so incredibly happy. But now, I felt nothing. All I could think about was that if he was home tonight, I wouldn't be able to study. So I refused. I have a dinner with colleagues tonight, so I won't be coming home. To my surprise, he asked, are they male colleagues? Last month, for Chloe's birthday, he went with her to a resort town for 3 days. I had an argument with him about it, and he was very impatient. It wasn't just the two of us. What's wrong with a few people celebrating her birthday together? Besides, even if she and I went alone, we grew up together, and our families have known each other since the last century. It wouldn't be crossing any lines. He didn't like me controlling his social life, so why was he trying to control mine? I casually brushed him off, both men and women, what about it? He paused, and his voice seemed to catch as he spoke, nothing. Take care of yourself. Thanks, you too. The dinner with colleagues was, of course, a lie. I just wanted more time to study. I studied until 11 p.m. when the security guard told me to leave, and I carried my laptop downstairs. Just as I opened the ride-sharing app, a car pulled up in front of me. Ethan stood in front of the car, his eyes slightly red. I paused. How was the dinner? He asked. It was good. He forced a smile. You didn't have a dinner, did you? I was still trying to justify. No, it ended a while ago. I came back to take care of some things. Grace. His tone was somewhat hurt. I was downstairs at your office at 6:30 p.m. I saw all your colleagues leaving. They said there was no dinner today. I was stunned. What were you doing here at 6:30 p.m.? His eyes seemed to well up. Grace, have you forgotten what day it is today? My mind went blank. My first thought was that it was 10 days until the language proficiency exam. Grace, it's my birthday today. My eyes widened, and then I put on an apologetic expression. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. Let's go back and celebrate for you, okay? I reached out to pull him, but he stood still, looking at me with red eyes. I had never forgotten his birthday in the past. Last year, for his birthday, I had even prepared a surprise at home early, inviting all our mutual friends. Everyone knew that inside the flower at the center of the cake was the engagement ring I had prepared for him. I never thought that in a relationship, the man always had to make the first move. I could also take that step and fulfill the dream I had since graduation. But that day, he humiliated me in front of our mutual friends. Everyone waited until midnight, but he never showed up, looking at me with complicated expressions. I held back tears and called him. His voice was tired. I'm watching the sea with Chloe, what's wrong? I clenched my fist. Did you forget it's your birthday today? Oh. I completely forgot until you mentioned it. So what? Why aren't you coming home? Shouldn't I be with you for your birthday? He was very impatient. I'm tired, I don't want to argue. Ethan. My voice trembled. I prepared a birthday surprise for you, and all our friends are here watching. Did I ask you to prepare anything for me? It's just a birthday, don't make such a big deal out of it. It's not like you'll lose a limb or something, is it? I suppressed the deep pain. Were you two the only ones watching the sea? What's wrong? Is sweetheart making a fuss again? From the other end, Chloe's coy, teasing voice could be heard. So annoying, always asking where I am. He grumbled a complaint to Chloe, then turned to me and said, just cancel the birthday surprise or whatever. Is it really worth all this fuss every day? I'm your boyfriend, not your accessory. Whether I celebrate my birthday, who I celebrate it with, or where I celebrate it, that's all my business, and it has nothing to do with you. Don't be so self-important, okay? My phone was on speaker, and everyone heard his voice, as well as the beep beep after he hung up without hesitation. And the barely audible, so annoying, before he hung up. Grace, did you really forget my birthday? He grabbed my wrist. I struggled twice but couldn't break free. I sighed, it's just a birthday, it's not like you'll lose a limb. A flash of shock crossed his eyes, and his grip on my hand visibly trembled. Thinking about our impending breakup, I decided not to spoil his birthday. A relationship that starts well should ideally end well too. My voice softened. Alright, the day's not over yet, isn't there still time to make it up? Stop fussing, let's go back. I'll buy some groceries, there's still time. He looked at me somewhat cautiously. Are you still angry? I laughed out loud. Of course not. In the past, I was too suspicious. I won't get angry with you anymore. He paused, unsure whether to be happy or sad. Don't you like barbecue ribs? It's your birthday, so it wouldn't make sense for you to cook. Let's go buy some ribs, shall we? Come on. The supermarket isn't closed yet. I smiled and took his hand, leading him toward the car. His expression finally softened a bit. Grace, in the past, Shoo. I put my index finger to my lips. It's your special day, let's not bring up old issues. Passing by a convenience store that sold tobacco and alcohol, I asked him to stop. A moment later, I came back with 2 packs, opened one, and offered him a cigarette. Here, it's your birthday, so indulge just this once. Go ahead and smoke, I won't nag you. He paused again. I used to be very strict about his smoking. At first, he would listen to me, but later he became impatient. How can you not smoke at company events? Chloe never bothers me about it, aren't you annoying? He looked at the cigarette I offered, and when he looked at me, there was a hint of worry. Why are you being so nice to me now? I tilted my head. It's your birthday. But you should still smoke less in the future, it's bad for your health. And also, we're almost breaking up. But I wasn't going to say that on his birthday. He seemed a bit relieved and took it. We bought the ingredients and came home. The moment the door opened, a dark figure whooshed into Ethan's arms. Haha, didn't expect me, did you? I'm here to celebrate your birthday. Surprise! Surprise! Ethan, flustered, tried to push Chloe away, looking anxiously at me. Chloe knew our house's door code. Ethan had said that as a girl living alone, it wasn't safe for her. If anything happened, she could come here anytime. This was Ethan's house, I had no say. My gaze lingered on the ring on her hand for a moment. I smiled. Anyone who comes is a guest. We have enough ingredients, so let's eat together. I'll help you. Ethan hastily followed me to the kitchen, leaving Chloe standing there, stunned. I pushed him out. It's your birthday, what are you doing busy? Don't get in my way. He stood at the kitchen door, looking somewhat hurt. Chloe came over and tugged him. Ethan, I bought you a birthday present. I suddenly remembered, I had forgotten to prepare a birthday present for him. During dinner, Chloe sat next to Ethan. He asked Chloe to move over a bit, then looked at me. Grace, why don't you sit next to me? I took a sip of soup. No need. You two are childhood sweethearts. It's fine if you sit together. It's nothing. Chloe let out a coy laugh, then sat back next to Ethan, picked up a piece of fish, removed the small bones, and placed it in his bowl. Ethan, here, eat some fish. Oh, the small bones should really be removed when cooking this fish. You choked on them last time. Sweetheart, don't buy this kind of fish next time. Ethan doesn't like the texture of this meat. Last time I made him. Are you done yet? Ethan directly interrupted her, and Chloe was startled. After all, between me and her, he always favored Chloe. Why are you criticizing the food my girlfriend made for me? If you don't want to eat, get out. Ethan, you. Chloe's eyes reddened. I smiled faintly. It's fine. I won't make this for him again. Saying this, I picked up a piece of fish and put it in my own bowl. I wouldn't make this dish for Ethan anymore. But I would make it for myself. Because I truly liked it. Chloe pouted, picked up a piece of barbecue ribs, took a bite, then suddenly frowned and spat it out. Sweetheart, why do these ribs taste sour? Is the meat fresh? Then she picked up the piece she had bitten and tried to feed it to Ethan. Ethan, try it. Does it taste weird? Or is something wrong with my taste buds? Smack, the ribs were knocked away. Chloe stared at him, astonished. Get out. Ethan's voice was cold. Chloe thought she misheard. What did you say? I told you to get out. Ethan, do you know what you're saying? Chloe's voice became tearful. Do I need to personally escort you out? Tears streamed from Chloe's eyes. She quickly stood up, covered her face, and ran out. The door slammed shut with a resounding bang. These childhood sweethearts both liked to slam doors when they were angry. Ethan got up and sat next to me. Her family spoiled her. Don't be angry. I smiled. It's fine. Someone knocked on the door. Ethan frowned. I'll make her leave. Don't. I stopped him, rushing to open the door first. My gift for you must have arrived. His eyes lit up. I took the gift bag from the delivery person, closed the door, and turned to hand it to him. Happy 26th birthday, Ethan. Inside the gift bag was a red velvet ring box. A flicker of uncontrollable joy flashed in his eyes. But after opening it, his face immediately darkened. What is the meaning of this? It's a men's diamond ring. Didn't you praise it before? This style is very hard to find, our store even ran out of stock. I specifically asked the sales associate to save one for me. Don't you like it? He grabbed my hand. Why are you giving me this? Don't you know Chloe has an identical one? Back then, when Chloe held her ring up to him, smiling and asking if it was pretty, he had genuinely and seriously commented on the craftsmanship and design. I smiled. I didn't know originally. I thought you just genuinely liked the style. His hand trembled slightly. I led him to the bedroom and pulled out an identical red velvet ring box from the right drawer of his computer desk. The red velvet on it was already worn and peeling. He turned pale with shock. I opened the ring box, a bitter smile on my face. It was the same style of ring I had bought for him. Only, many of the small diamonds on this ring had fallen out. The wear and tear also showed that this ring was quite old. You always kept this drawer locked. I thought it contained important documents. A while ago, your drawer broke, and when I called a technician to fix it, he accidentally found this and told me about it. My eyes welled up. The grievances I had endured for 5 years weren't so easy to let go of after all. At that moment, it was as if I wanted to use this reason to completely release all the resentment accumulated over so many years. Ethan, that's when I realized. The ring on Chloe's hand was a couple's ring. A rare look of panic appeared in Ethan's eyes. No. Grace, I just forgot. She just gave it to me a long time ago, and I really liked it back then. I didn't even know it was a couple's ring. And that was in the past, we weren't even dating back then. Later, I just didn't want you to misunderstand, so I locked it away. It doesn't mean anything important. I shook my head, but when she asked you if the ring was pretty, you said it was very pretty. He paused, then spoke with a tremble. She's sick, I just didn't want her to get upset. Both our families. We've always spoiled her. I chuckled softly, putting the ring back exactly as it was. Okay, let's go eat. Grace. He quickly grabbed my wrist. I turned back, smiled, and said softly, come on, honey, let's finish dinner. I have something to tell you tomorrow. After a couple of steps, he suddenly pulled me into a tight embrace from behind. We'd been together for 5 years, but he'd only held me like this when we first started dating. He lowered his head, his lips brushing my ear. Grace. Please don't be like this. Why don't you just be angry with me? I know you've been angry with me these past few days. I know I messed up. Don't treat me like this. I'm begging you. I sighed with a smile. I'm not angry, really. But he pulled me even tighter. You're upset I've been too close to Chloe, aren't you? I won't look after her anymore. I'll have her aunt and uncle come here to take care of her, and I'll never go to her place again. I'll even change the password to the door lock at home. From now on, there will be no other woman in my life but you, okay? I said nothing. After a long moment, I sighed softly. Ethan, you see, you know exactly where you went wrong. The arm he had wrapped around Demi trembled slightly, and his voice dropped to a whisper. I'm sorry. Please forgive me just one last time, okay? I patted his hand and turned my head. Honey, let's eat. This is the last time I'll do this for you. Ding ding, his phone rang again, a jarring sound. He quickly answered it. After a few quick replies, he seemed desperate to escape, grabbing his jacket and heading out quickly. Something came up at the company. I need to leave for a bit. At the door, he suddenly turned and kissed me hard and fast. Wait for me. He turned and left. He didn't know that I'd seen the caller ID. It wasn't the company, it was Chloe. For a while after that, he didn't come back. He didn't even send a single text message. However, his social media feed, which he rarely updated, started posting daily. The first day was about him and Chloe having a fight. He called her parents and asked them to take her back home to recover. The second day, he was working overtime at the company, exhausted. The third day featured a few photos from our college days, claiming he missed the past. I even started to wonder if his social media feed was set to be visible only to me. But what would be the point of that? I sent him a text message. We need to talk about some things face to face. He didn't reply. It seemed like this way, he could avoid the inevitable breakup. However, when it comes to a breakup, if one person doesn't want to discuss it, the relationship is already over. Talking face to face was just a way to give both sides a dignified exit. But dignity wasn't a prerequisite. He didn't come home, but I still packed up my belongings. This apartment was his, so I erased all traces of my presence, restoring everything to its original state. I passed the language proficiency exam, and I'd be leaving soon. Before I left, my colleagues threw a grand farewell party for me. Feeling happy, I had a few too many drinks. A colleague, unaware we had broken up, naturally called Ethan as my Kalia. You helped me out. I fell into a warm embrace. Ethan thanked them politely. Thank you for looking after her. Someone said, he cares about her so much. No wonder Grace was so adamant about not going to Yemen at first. At that moment, the arm he had around me stiffened abruptly. Not wanting him to question me there, I deliberately slurred drunkenly, Ethan, let's go. I'm so tired. Only then did he, looking troubled, help me into the passenger seat and buckle my seatbelt. On the way back, he gripped the steering wheel tightly. What did they mean by that? I stopped pretending to be dead drunk, propping my head up. The company has a project there, and they need me to go. Veins bulged on the back of his hand, but he controlled himself and spoke. How long? 2 years. He was silent for a moment, then spoke softly. 2 years. That's not very long. I can wait. Wait for what? He pulled the car over to the side of the road and pulled out a red velvet ring box. He opened it, revealing a woman's diamond ring of a completely different style. In the dim light, his eyes were filled with deep affection and tenderness. Grace, let's get married. I looked at the ring. I stared at it for a long time, then suddenly burst out laughing. Ethan, do you know that last year, around your birthday, I hid an identical ring in your cake? Oh, wait, no, that was a men's ring. His face went pale. Tears streamed down my face from laughing. Ethan, our taste is truly so similar. It's a pity, but it's all too late. My wrist was suddenly gripped tight, and his eyes were red-rimmed. No, it's not too late. Grace, it's not too late for us. I can wait for you. 3 years, 5 years, I'll wait however many years it takes. As long as you come back, we'll get married, okay? If you're willing, we can now, Ethan. I calmly pulled my hand away. We've already broken up. At that moment, his face turned ashen. His hand, suspended in midair, remained there, unable to retract. Ethan, we've been together for 5 years. For these 5 years, I had many unrealistic fantasies about this relationship. I know you've been troubled for a long time. After today, you'll be free. His eyes clouded with moisture, and he struggled desperately. No, those weren't fantasies. That was our future. I smiled softly. We don't have a future together anymore. but we each have our own futures. After saying that, I opened the car door and got out. I left the house keys on the shoe cabinet for you. All my belongings are out. I'm flying to Yemen tomorrow. Perhaps we'll meet again. I walked along the small path back. The car behind me kept its high beams on. As I was about to turn a corner, I suddenly felt curious and glanced back. The person in the driver's seat was hunched over the steering wheel, his shoulders shaking. I had never seen him cry before. This was the first time. But it truly had nothing to do with me anymore. My future was infinitely bright.